It's true. The title isn't a lie. My dad arrested a ghost. This story takes place in the early 90s, before I even popped out of my mother's womb. My dad had only been on the force for about a year or two, and today he was riding around with the chief, and for this story we're just going to call him Roger. Today they're going to do a welfare check on some old guy that apparently the chief had run-ins with before, and so they're just checking on his well-being. When they arrive on scene, they just hear yelling, glass breaking, things being thrown, just a bunch of hooping and hollering. The chief, Roger, turns over to my dad and tells him, "Let me do all the talking, okay?" Now, the old dude that's doing all this hooping and hollering, for this story we're going to call him Phil, and Phil is like in his 60s or 70s. Phil starts laying into the chief, screaming at the top of his lungs, "I told y'all to get rid of that goddamn ghost last time and you didn't, and now he's back again." The Chief Roger calmly asks him, "Okay, where is the ghost, Phil? Where's the ghost?" The old man continues to scream, "He's in the TV, he's in the goddamn TV, and he's been in it all day, and I can't watch The Price is Right with him in there." I'm not super familiar with police training, but I'm pretty sure there's no protocol as to what to do if a poltergeist is possessing appliances. Apparently, Chief Roger must have been a paranormal investigator before he joined the force, because he knows exactly what to do. Calm, cool, and collected, he asks the old man, "Have you tried turning off the TV yet?" I think we can all agree that's a pretty great first step. If you think there's ghosts possessing your TV, maybe try turning it off. Maybe it'll cut off the connection to the shadow realm. But the old man responds, "No, I tried that. I've tried everything. I've tried switching the channels. I've tried turning it off. I've even unplugged the goddamn thing, and he still won't leave." Clearly, this ain't old Phil's first rodeo. So my dad pulls the chief aside and asks him, "What are we going to do about this? I really think we need to call somebody." But the chief stops him and says, No. I've dealt with this guy plenty of times in the past. I know exactly what to do. So I'm going to get you to stand in front of the door, and I'm going to get old Phil to stand next to you, because I'm going to go back and get some special equipment from the cruiser." He didn't bother explaining what the special equipment is. I don't know if it's like a Ghostbusters vacuum, like some sort of ancient amulet that he could suck the ghost up in, a Ouija board to communicate and maybe try to ask the ghost nicely if it'll leave. So as he's going back to the cruiser, he turns around and looks at my dad and tells him, "I need you to keep an eye on the TV. Let me know if it goes anywhere else." So while my dad's standing there with this old man, trying to calm him down, console him, let him know that they're there to help, he also has to keep an eye on this TV to make sure that the ghost doesn't escape. My dad is watching the chief as he goes to the cruiser, pops open the trunk, and pulls out a big burlap sack. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't really call a burlap sack special equipment. Maybe it has some sort of special ghost trapping properties about it. I'm not sure. I'm not a police officer. Now, during this time, old Phil starts freaking out again, running around and screaming, "Oh, it just jumped out of the TV! It's in the goddamn room now! It's in the goddamn room!" Now they got a bigger problem on their hands because the suspect has gone rogue. It's airborne. The chief is sprinting back inside with his ghost sack, and about that time, old Phil's he's going crazy. He's like, the ghost just jumped back in the TV. It's in the TV. Whatever you're going to do, you need to do it now." Now, I'm going to do my best to give you a visual representation of what happened next. Picture for a moment this pillow is the TV, like an old box TV. Like I said, it's the early 90s. And then imagine this trash bag is the burlap sack. So the chief takes the sack, puts it over the TV, runs his hand in there and just starts going, "Oh, I've got him, suspect detained, stand back, suspect detained, you got the right to remain silent." And Phil starts going absolutely bananas. He's like, "Oh, you got him, I see it, you got it, I can see it, you got him, all right." Now the chief has this dangling bag here and he brings it over to Phil. He's like, feel that. The old man reaches over and grabs the bag and goes, "Oh, yeah, you got him all right. You got that son of a bitch. You got him." The whole way down to the cruiser, the chief is, "You got the right to remain silent. Anything you can say and will say can be used to shut up." Opens up the back seat of the cruiser and throws it in. I'm not sure what happened next. I don't know if they slapped some cuffs on the thing. I don't know if there was like an interrogation. I don't know what rights ghosts have. All I do know is that the old man calmed right back down and he's just like, "Thank the Lord he's gone. I can finally watch my shows in peace." He goes up to the chief, gives him a big hug, gives my dad a big old hug, and just thanks them profusely. Just, "Thank you, Lord, you finally got rid of that annoying son of a bitch." Now they're sitting there talking with this old man, and maybe not 5 minutes later, after they detain the ghost, the old man's son comes home. They begin a conversation with the son and tell them about all that happened. The son explains, "Yep, that's Dad. He's supposed to be taking some medication, and he just doesn't like to take it. And when he doesn't take it, This is what happens. He did thank the chief and my dad for coming by, though, because he said that his dad was over the moon, ecstatic that this poltergeist was no longer haunting his TV. My dad continued to work as a cop for many years after this, and still to this day, he says it's one of the craziest things that he's ever seen. Like I said, though, the story does have a happy ending. My dad went to check on that old man later that same night and continued to check on him periodically to make sure that he was keeping up with his medications and to touch base with the son to make sure, to see how the old man was doing and make sure everything stayed good. Although the chief in this story thought he did a good thing and did the best that he knew how to do at the time, and it definitely came from a good place, I think it's important to mention that if someone is having these sorts of hallucinations, it is really dangerous to go along with them because then it makes it more real for the person and it can be really damaging to their psyche. Luckily, everything did work out in this situation. The old man continued to take his medication and avoided these sorts of episodes in the future. However, I still want to say if you or if anyone you know is experiencing any sorts of hallucinations, it's important to seek professional help. But I guess if all else fails, you can call your local police and see if they're able to apprehend the apparition. I just remembered this story the other night and I just thought it was so crazy and over the top that I had to share it. Thanks for watching. If you did, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, maybe consider, dropping a sub, leaving a like, sharing the video with friends, comment down below, tell me what you thought. But I'm going to bounce on out of here. See you in the next one.